Coming up on DC News Now, held without bond. The man accused of killing a DC police officer on I-695 last month has made his first court appearance. What the judge had to say and what allegedly led up to the collision. Adult daycare van crashed. 7 people sent to the hospital after colliding with a ride-on bus. We've got the latest from Montgomery County. U.S. strikes in Syria. The latest escalation on the world stage this afternoon. The United States responded to the killing of 2 U.S. troops and a civilian. We've got you the latest there.
And it was a gray and wet afternoon, and it's leading into a few showers early this evening. We'll talk more about your forecast for tonight with temperatures and beyond going to the second half of your weekend.
Plus, battle of the brands. A blind taste test to stretch your dollar. Could buying generic satisfy your wallet as much as it satisfies your taste buds? Good Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. We begin tonight with breaking news. The driver accused of hitting and killing a DC police officer on I-695 last month will be held in jail without bond. That suspect, 47-year-old Gerald Lionel Coates of DC, made his first court appearance today. The DC U.S. Attorney's Office told us that the judge, quote, found probable cause that Coates committed the offense of second-degree murder while armed. 32-year-old Officer Terry Bennett was responding to a vehicle that crashed along the eastbound lanes of 695 after the 3rd Street tunnel. He was allegedly hit by a speeding SUV on December the 23rd that swerved around slower traffic. Prosecutors say his marked police cruiser had emergency lights on. Flares were already lit too. They added that Officer Bennett suffered a traumatic brain injury and possibly spinal injury. He died January the 7th. All right, we will get into more local news in a moment, but to your forecast right now, not a pleasant sight walking out the door today, Scott. It was a little wet out there. I
had the drive of from hell driving in here with the spray and the mist. Oh, goodness gracious. I just wanted to close my eyes for a few minutes, but you can't do that when you're driving, right? All right, as far as the radar is concerned, the rain that was pretty steady throughout the day earlier on, well, that's let up quite a bit. As you'll notice here, some scattered and a smattering of showers, especially south of D.C. Speaking of which, in and around the Beltway, how are we faring here? Well, again, there may be some mist and drizzle out there, very, very light stuff, but as far as steady rain, that is now moved on from the 495 corridor and elsewhere across the region. Still, though, having some wet roads. And again, the big picture as we pull on back, I'll explain these advisories coming up in the main weather, but I'm just interested in the rain and where that rain is going. As you can see, it's moving off towards the north. And so our future radar here over the next several hours shows that the showers that are south of D.C. right now will continue to move in towards southern Maryland as well as Delaware. That's not to say we're completely done, because we do have a little bit more shower activity moving into the DMV here as we go throughout the next next couple of hours. But over the last 24 hours, we've seen a decent dose of rain here. This is good news for us. We're really dealing with a serious drought problem across much of the DMV, but an inch at Manassas, about 3/4 of an inch in D.C. certainly helps the situation a little bit. We'll talk more about your Sunday forecast and what to expect temperature-wise, and of course what those advisories that I showed you coming up. Ben?
Get into, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've learned that 7 people were sent to the hospital in Montgomery County after this very serious crash between a ride-on bus and an adult daycare van. This unfolded in Rockville. And Montgomery County Fire says that they responded right after noon on Shady Grove Road and Research Boulevard. 6 people were hurt inside of that van, as well as the driver of the ride-on bus. The cause of that crash, that's not yet been shared by investigators. No life-threatening injuries were reported. It's good news. A woman was killed in the crash overnight in Fairfax County. Police say this happened in Springfield at the Fairfax County Parkway and Huntsman Boulevard. The details remain unknown, including what happened, how many vehicles were involved, and the victim's identity. New tonight, 2 women are in the hospital after being shot in Prince George's County. This happened around 12:30 a.m. this morning on Barlow Road in Palmer Park. Officials say they found the 2 women on site with multiple gunshot wounds. They were rushed to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. No word, though, on any suspects. A new report shows an alarming number of close calls between children and cars. Alexandria, Virginia is leading Northern Virginia in these reported incidents. That's why our Yamarisa Say is taking a closer look at this report.
This is adding more danger rather than helping.
For Eileen Mungle, walking through this roundabout is a daily challenge.
I've almost been hit like at least 4 times.
And crossing with children requires extra caution.
We stop, we walk out a little bit more, we check for cars, we stop again. 80% of the time, cars coming up only see us as we're out in the intersection walking, and I have to wave them down to stop them.
Mungle is one of many residents who shared concerns in the survey by Northern Virginia Families for Safe Streets. The group's latest report shows 155 near-miss incidents involving children in Alexandria between January 2024 and December 2025. And at this intersection alone on Hickory and Kennedy Streets, 53 incidents were reported.
It's hard enough getting out the door in the morning with young kids, so having to add the worry of are we going to make it alive to school?
Mike Doyle, the founder of the organization behind the report, says small changes like stop signs could make a big difference.
So you have a small roundabout with a stop sign. If the drivers pay attention to that, that should reduce the challenges and make it safer for the kids.
We're just looking for additional engagement from the city to help correct the intersection and really make it a safe place for all our families and all our neighbors to navigate.
That was our Yamarisa Say reporting. Doyle says the more data collection could mean more changes across Northern Virginia. And if you have a Safe Streets incident report to share with authorities, you can find a link on our website, dcnewsnow.com. You might have seen this. The Washington National Opera is leaving the Kennedy Center. Officials confirming these details with us here at DC News Now. Their departure follows President Trump's takeover of the Kennedy Center board and his name now affixed on the building honoring the late president. President Trump first fired the board after starting his second term and made himself the chair. The New York Times reports the opera made the move due to a drop in attendance and a decline in donor contributions ever since the White House made some drastic changes. In a statement, a Kennedy Center spokesperson wrote in part, quote, "We have made the difficult decision to part ways with the WNO due to a financially challenging relationship. We believe this represents the best path forward for both organizations and enables us to make responsible choices." Today, Fairfax County Public Schools held a public hearing for parent feedback on proposed boundary changes and the possible impact on neighborhoods. It's happened this week. If approved, it will mark the first time in 40 years FCPS overhauls their boundaries. That includes changing zonings for entire neighborhoods. Parents who attended that hearing said they're concerned for their students' welfare and have been disappointed with how the school board has communicated these proposed changes.
It's our only opportunity to be heard because of the way that they handle this process. It hasn't been fair. It hasn't been transparent.
The school board is scheduled to vote on the superintendent's recommendation for boundary changes on Thursday, January the 22nd. This week, the United States House of Representatives passed a bill to extend Obamacare subsidies. 17 Republican lawmakers joined Democrats to restore the benefits that expired in 2025. Now it's up to the Senate. DC News Now's Tosin Fakile caught up with people directly impacted by those benefits.
My premium went up by $220 a month.
Alice Goldberg is self-employed and says she expected her premiums with her plan under the ACA to go up, but not that much.
It's now $247. So before this, I was receiving health care for $28 a month for just my health care premium. And I was getting a lot of help. I anticipate that I would have gotten less help because my business has been doing really well this past year.
And what looks like relief might be in sight. The House passed the bill on Thursday to extend the ACA subsidies.
I don't know that I feel a sense of relief yet because it still needs to pass through the Senate. I'm definitely grateful for the people who crossed party lines.
Goldberg says what she really doesn't understand are the priorities of the Trump administration and Republican Party.
Why is American money being spent on plundering Venezuela for the benefit of private oil companies, but they don't have the money to help us get the health care that we need for when those sicknesses and injuries send us to the hospital?
Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services data shows 92% of people enrolled in Obamacare benefited from enhanced subsidies last year. As someone who benefited from a subsidy, Alice Goldberg says this.
My message to the Senate is to start behaving like the values of the people in this country dictate.
For DC News Now, I'm Tosin Fakile.
Our thanks to Tosin. We'll stay on top of that one. Well, if you're a Nats fan, you might be dreaming about better days ahead, including warmer ones. We've had some mild temperatures, and baseball might be on your mind. Well, the team just released their promotional schedule for the upcoming season. Fans can get special merch like a vintage batting practice pullover or a City Connect hockey jersey. That's pretty cool. There's also a bobblehead giveaway throughout the season. During the Beltway series against the O's, fans can get a special bad day to be a hot dog hat and a novelty sliding mitt. The heartbreak for Ravens fans after the team's kicker missed the field goal against the Steelers, turning into somewhat of a win for DC families. In the final seconds of Sunday's game, Tyler Loop, who was nearly perfect all season, went wide right and ended Baltimore's season. The images of the rookie standing there heartbroken did resonate with some Pittsburgh fans. They reportedly donated more than $40,000 in Loop's name to the John S. Mulholland Family Foundation. That's Loop's favorite local charity, and it runs 11 food pantries, feeding thousands of families in need. Great story. Way to go, Pittsburgh fans. Up next on DC News Now, Battle of the Brands. We're helping you stretch your dollar so you don't overspend in the snack aisle. The Taste Test Face-Off. Plus, the feds unveiled their new upside-down food pyramid. What's now at the top of the health triangle? Time now, 6:11. We take a live look outside. It's a little difficult to see anything in the sky over our nation's capital. Scott Sumner is coming back with a look and timing of when the rain will go away another day.